Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have a WIP Chat for you. But if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting related content, and I would love if you would like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's love your friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. Thanks for coming back. If you do not know what a WIP Chat is, that is when I work on my current WIP, WIP, which is work in progress. I am currently working on Time Escapes Us. This is an older TSA kit. I will link the unboxing for that in the eye. And you can work on whatever it is that you want to be working on, whether it be another craft project, a household project, while you're doing chores, running errands, while you're driving, while you're working, while you're pretending to work. You can stream in the background the way you would a podcast, whatever you want to do. There is no right way or wrong way to WIP and chat. So, hi. Before I get into like my week, that sounded really bougie. I just have a question for the diamond painters out there. So I have noticed that the purple shades of this kit in particular are very clumpy. And like I said, this is an older TSA kit. So these are the small rounds. So even though I was just like, screw it, I'll go buy replacement drills. They're not the ones that are being sold because these rounds are the same size as squares. Excuse me, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I have a drill separator that I use. The problem is, no matter how many times I wipe this down with a dryer sheet or how many times I spray alcohol in it, as soon as I put drills in here, it is like they're flying out of here to get to go back in the tray. And I'm spraying down the trays, I'm wiping everything down. I'm going through so much rubbing alcohol and so many pieces of dryer sheet. Does anybody have a good tip on that? Please let me know, because I know it's the plastic is charging them up, but it is getting to the point where it's like almost unbearable to work with. But I can't, if half the colors stuck together, there's something I can do. Anyway, I hope that you guys are all well. It has been a week. It has been a week. I do want to say that when you guys see this, the event will be over in a few days. And I know that you guys are probably wondering, like, I haven't seen anything in weeks. You're right. I was fully intending on getting the weeks 3 and 4 video and I Spy out over the last week and a half. But life has just been getting in the way, and my kid had yet another snow day and a 2-hour delay. And all these things are just throwing like a huge wrench into all my plans. So the weeks 3 and 4 and the weeks 5 and 6 are going to be very close together. What I would like to do, and please let me know, either way, if you guys like this, dislike this, whatever, I am thinking about doing the weekly video, like the slideshow, and the I Spy in one video. That way I can just do one video for both. And I can put timestamps, so if you're only interested in the slideshow or you're only interested in the I Spy. And I'm personally struggling this year with my event in a way that I didn't think was really going to bother me, but it is. I am struggling to keep up with the engagement on my end because you can't... I don't know if you've taken notice of this, but you can't follow hashtags on Instagram anymore. So while I already followed the Alice in Winter Wonderland, it doesn't show up in my feed. And it has been like this for some time, where if you click on the hashtag itself, it doesn't bring up like the most recent or the most popular. It just brings up a couple. So I am missing people's posts left and right, which is making me sad, of course. But then I'm also realizing, like, it's not showing up in my feed unless I'm following everybody. And I'm not following everybody that's participating in the event. And even if I am, unless I'm regularly engaging with them, I'm seeing posts from people from like January in my feed. I'm like, what is going on? Instagram is really being like a major buzzkill right now. And it is bumming me out. Because you guys, I put in so much effort to make this event like fun and wonderful for everyone. But if nobody can actually like engage or participate, what's the point? I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, I'm not feeling sorry for myself, but maybe I'm just like in that little bit of a mindset. But let me know. I know that there's been a big surge of people who are like, I'm not doing events this year. And I get that. Like, I totally get that. You want to just relax and all that stuff. And I get that. But it's frustrating when I can't even participate in the event that I am hosting. This canvas has so many pieces of broken drill. So, if you guys can see that, I don't know if you can see that. Tons like that. Also, the block drills in here are disgusting. Spoiler alert, if you wanted to see a post review. What color did I just pull out? Anyway, I hope you guys are well. Sorry for, like, coming in here and, like, whining and complaining. I feel like there's this misconception, like, when your kids hit school age, like, everything gets so much easier, and it doesn't. It just gets different. Like, it gets easier for some things that I have more time during the day to do the things that I need to do. Like, if I need to make a grocery run without my child with me, I can do that. But it also means juggling more things on a regular basis and making sure... Like, I was talking to my mom recently, and I don't even remember what you were talking about. And I was like, do you forget that Briar's in school full time? And she's like, oh, yeah. Like, she doesn't have the luxury of, like, oh, well, we'll just come down, you know, right after school. Like, sure, we can come down after school, but then I won't be at your house till dinner time. It's just little things. But this year, like last year, I don't think we had any, I can't remember if we had any. We did have a snow day last year because I pissed and moaned about it because they had to make it up on one of the days of their spring break. I posted this, like, where I live, and a bunch of people jumped down my throat because I grew up where they had snow days built into the school year. And I don't know how many it was, and I don't know if there's a deal, like, now with teachers, like, in their contracts, like, they can't be contracted more than the 180 school days or whatever it is. Like, I don't know what the rules are, but you know that there's parents now that are like, my kid went to school for 153 or 183 days. Like, that's ridiculous. But I would rather have my kid go to school for a couple extra days than have to make up those days by taking away other days off. So they were supposed to have off this coming Friday on Valentine's Day because Monday is President's Day. It was going to be a long weekend. Well, now that day is a snow day, makeup day. Okay, fine. So then we go along and we have a 2-hour delay, which throws a massive wrench into everything because usually when I take my kid to school, when I come home, that's when I, like, take my little nap. And before anybody says anything to me, yes, I do nap. Not every day, but I nap enough because my schedule, I typically am up till like 1 o'clock in the morning and I am awake on ice days at 5 a.m. Very regularly. I'm getting 4 hours of sleep. So yes, I do come home and I sleep a little bit to catch up. But usually I also am then getting things done. I'm getting a meal in the crock pot. I'm doing the errands. I'm getting the groceries. Like, I'm doing a lot of different things. And it's hard to do that when I have a small child tethered to me that isn't off for the day. So, like, I can't just be like, okay, let's go get this, and this done because I still have to take her to school. And my kid is a walker because of our proximity. So there's no bus that's coming. Like, I have to make sure that she's getting there, which I would anyway, because she's 7. Well, I almost said 6. But the first graders in her school, they are not allowed to, I don't know what the rules are for walking to school, but they're not allowed to leave school on their own, which I appreciate. But, you know, in 2 hours doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but, like, when you have stuff to do, it does. And also, because my kid regularly skates before school in the morning, I can't let her sleep in on those days, because if I let her sleep in till like 9 o'clock, when she has to wake up the next morning at 5:15, it's impossible to get her up. So it's just been, it's frustrating. And I appreciate, like, that they try to make things work for the school, but, like, the one snow day that we got, we didn't get notice until 6:30 in the morning. My kid's alarm, we wake her up at 6:45 in the morning on school days that she doesn't have ice time. So you're telling me that, like, the high school kids haven't already been up and getting ready by that point? Like, you have to make the decision sooner. And then how are working parents supposed to find childcare that close to the start of the business day or the school day. Like, I just don't understand. So if you are somebody who, like, doesn't have snow days, let me tell you. I mean, it's annoying when our kids have weather related, and then people complain. They go, well, it didn't even snow. We shouldn't have had a delay. But yeah, but the kids, you have so many kids that walk to school. Well, that's great that the block of like sidewalk in front of the school is sort of shoveled, but all the streets leading into the school, like I walked my kid to school this morning. Our side of the sidewalk, my husband did. The other side of the sidewalk, technically the builder is supposed to clear that off because there's no homes on that side yet. Not touched. It is no shovel, no salt, no nothing. And it has been, I think the rule is it has to be shoveled within 24 hours of snowfall. That was 2 days ago. And then I got to our corner, which was cleaned off, and I crossed the street, and then I got to the other corner, which was kind of melted, cleaned off. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll just go across the street this way instead of going up this way. Well, I see that one's nice and clean. But then when you cross to go this way, that block from that corner up until the private property line, which covers 2 homes, not a single shovel has been taken to the sidewalk. So if we walked on that side of the road, and it was all icy. So if we walked on that side of the road this morning, we would have been walking on a sheet of ice. So we walked our normal way that we walk, and the sidewalk, like halfway through, there's a curb cut out, and that's usually where we cross, and then we cross over, and that's where the private property line starts. And whoever is in charge of that private property does a fantastic job of cleaning up the sidewalk, because they are in charge of the entire sidewalk leading up to the school from that point. And so the curb cut out wasn't cleaned out, so I was like, okay. And then when we crossed the street, that curb cutout also wasn't cleaned out. So my choices are either walk in the street or have to walk on ice. And this is, my kid didn't have a delay today. There was no anything, like, this should be cleared up. And I am only walking like 2 blocks to the school. So imagine these kids who have to walk a mile to school. If I'm dealing with this much snow and ice on the streets and the sidewalks, like some of these other families. So I understand, like, when they decide to cancel, or, you know, because, like, I know a lot of people are like, this is ridiculous. We didn't miss this much school when we were kids. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, I feel like people in the 80s were a lot more on top of snow removal than I feel like people are. Like, so many people are just so lazy about it. And it's like, they don't care if they get fined. No, I'm not gonna, it's not a convenience for me. It's like, well, okay, but it's literally a public street. You can't just not shovel. So I'm frustrated. I'm just frustrated all around. If you're new here, welcome. But let me tell you guys about my week. So Sunday was an at-home day. I don't even remember if we did anything. My kid has been, like, extra wound up this week, so all the extra time at home has just not been conducive to, like, positivity. So that's super fun. I want to say maybe we watched some more Full House on Sunday, but I can't remember. We also, if you guys were here, I guess last week, the week before, talking about my oven went, I've been using my air fryer for, like, everything. And I'm also annoyed because, so I bought, like, a single burner that can be plugged in. And last night I was trying to make pasta salad. I had a box of pasta salad, and we were having hot dogs last night. And I was like, you know what? Let me make that pasta salad. It actually expires this month. Like, let me not let it go to waste. And I've made ones from them before. I couldn't make the one that we used to make because it does have dye in it, and my kid can't have that. But this one, like, part of me is like, I don't know if it was user error or if it was just not as good, but I put the pot of water on the burner, and, like, it automatically turns itself off once it hits a point that it decides, like, it's good. So I sat there for half hour, and this water never boiled. I mean, it never boiled. So then I had to take everything out, put it in a smaller pot with less water, hoping that because there's less surface area, it would heat it up enough to the point that it would boil. And it did. But it took me like 45 minutes to make noodles, which was frustrating. Sorry, don't throw your pens, Lindsay. But I also learned yesterday that you can make a fried egg in your air fryer, which I did, which was delicious. I've also decided I'm a really big fan of croissants. I don't care if they're good croissants, bad croissants. I love croissants. And so my husband picked up a pack of them from the supermarket. But the ones from the supermarket, they are kind of like soft and like almost like gummy. And I was like, you know what? And so I threw it into the air fryer for like 2 minutes. It came out nice and light and fluffy and crispy and flaky. And it was just like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing now. Guys, it says dud. I know you can't see it from there. But if you guys have anything that like, I don't want to say recipes, but anything that you use your air fryer for that like maybe people wouldn't be like, oh my God, you can use your air fryer for that? Let me know, because the fried egg was amazing. And I had frozen hash brown patties in the freezer. So I grabbed one of them and I just basically made a fried egg over a hash brown. Now I'm like, now I get why people use the hash brown patties as a like avocado toast base. So let me know if you guys have anything that I have to check out and try to make with my air fryer. But yeah, there's still a learning curve. Like, I obviously have no idea what I'm doing. And I was talking to someone the other day and I was like, I have no idea. I just Google everything. Like, I'll be like, how do you make this in the air fryer? And then it'll lead me down a rabbit hole of like recipes. But anyway, so Sunday we didn't do anything. Monday she had a 2-hour delay. Monday, the way the day was supposed to go is Monday, I was supposed to take her to school, and then I was immediately supposed to drop her skates off at the rink closest to me to have their skate tech sharpen her skates. I like the way she sharpens. So there's 3 different people that sharpen my kids' skates. That skate tech at that rink, the skate tech at her home rink, and the guy who I buy the skates from. In order of who I like them from most to the least, it's the female tech at the other rink, the male tech at our home rink, and then the guy I buy the skates from. I feel like when she does them, there's a little bit more like bite to them, and my daughter's edges seem a little bit more, like a little deeper. And so I was talking to her and she said, bring them in Monday after you drop her off and I'll get them done for you and you'll have them, they'll be ready by noon. And I was like, cool, perfect, thank you. So I wake up, get the day started, and then I'm like, oh, cool, we have a delay again. So we laid back down because she had already gotten completely ready. And I guess my husband didn't realize that when I said after school, I meant like after school, like normal school hours. Not, oh, if she has a 2-hour delay, I'm still dropping them off then. Because then that doesn't give her enough time to get to them with all the other skates that she's sharpening and things like that. Or maybe it does. I just didn't want to assume that it was okay because this is what we had agreed upon. I am also somebody, like, if you want to give me, like, massive anxiety, make me not be on time to something and you will see me, like, fly off the handles. Because I am one of those people that, like, if you are early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And I get major anxiety just, like, thinking about being, like, even a minute late to something. Like, I cannot. So I also don't want to inconvenience her because she's doing me a favor. She doesn't have to be sharpening Briar's skates. So we discussed it and she went up 1/32 of an inch in terms of sharpening her blade. And, you know, it's funny. Like, I said something to her coach because the guy at that rink told me what he was sharpening them to. And she goes, I don't know. Just, we'll see how it feels. And I was like, so the skate tech did increase it a little bit. And she's like, let me know, you know, how she feels with these. And the problem is, like, Briar doesn't notice that she needs her skate sharpened or that her edges are worn out or anything like that. I tend to notice she looks like she's like skating on a slip and slide. She's just kind of like all over the place. And then I'm like, oh, I guess we should get these sharpened. For anyone who's like, I don't know anything about ice skating, technically you're supposed to get them sharpened about every 30 hours of ice time, which might seem like a lot or not a lot depending on, but when you figure my kid skates multiple times a week, and then part of the issue is that she doesn't take care of her blades off the ice in the best manner. Like she should be wearing her hard guards if she has to go to the bathroom and stuff like that, but that doesn't belong there. But that's a different story. So I ended up having to take my daughter with me to drop the skates off. We had just missed the skate tech by like a minute. She did tell us she was going to be heading to get a hot beverage after she did morning ice. And I just left them there. And, she had no way to contact me. Thankfully, she gave me her contact info when I picked up the skates. So I guess like next time I can text her and let her know like, hey, is it cool if I drop them off at this time or, whatever. But because of that, everything that I was supposed to do was now thrown off because I still had Briar with me. I still had to take her to the rink with me to drop those off. But then I didn't have enough, like it was still too much time to be like, okay, let's go to school. But not enough time to get any kind of like real errands done. And, not time to like put something in the crock pot. Like it was just like, okay, everything timing wise is thrown off. And then when I was talking to my husband who was home that day and I was like, do you want to go with me to pick up the skates? He was like, not really. I'm like, okay. So I ended up picking up the skates and then coming back home later. So after I took Briar with me to drop the skates off, we went to Dunkin', I think. I wrote that down, but now I'm like, did I? And then it just became like we had to come home and just kind of like sit around because there wasn't much I could do. Like it wasn't like she had anything to work on. And then she had this huge project that was due and I ordered, so we had a 100-day of school project that she had to do. And for her, we decided to do 100 ice skates. So originally what we were going to do was 100 ice skating like terms. And then I realized like, oh, I'm going to have to like print this in, like make it into some sort of like spreadsheet and then make sure everything is evenly spaced and then get it printed and then cut everything and then glue 100 words or phrases onto a sheet of paper. And I was like, well, that sounds terrible. So I was like, why don't we just switch it to like 100 ice skates and we can just get ice skating stickers? Well, half of my stickers they decided to show up a day after the project was due. So I was like, cool. And it's my fault for ordering them so late because this was not what we intended. We were going to do something else, but, sorry guys, big butt. Again, everything is just throwing a wrench into my plans. Like originally on Mondays, what I do is I take her to school, I do what I need to do, and then I record my WIP Chat for Tuesday and preferably record and edit, process, do all of that during the day so that I don't have to worry about doing the long, lengthy stuff in the evening. Because although I don't like majorly edit my videos or anything like that, I do have to make notes of when I put timestamps in and I have to put my, opening card, my title card, and my end card, and my intro and outro music and things like that. So sometimes that's all I do. But sometimes I didn't write down what time I said something, or if I'm like, oh, let me add a photo to something, I have to go through and find where I put that. But then to upload it to YouTube and do all of the actual like processing takes longer than the hour video that it is. So sometimes that can take me several hours just to get a 1 hour video up off my phone and onto the internet. And I prefer doing all of that like when I'm home alone or if Brian's home, but not so much like when Briar's around, in general. But, so the goal was I was going to film the WIP Chat and I was going to film the Alice in Wonderland videos And there was another video I wanted to film. I don't remember what it is now. But it didn't happen. And, you know, a lot of this, me having to adjust my day. And I don't want to keep, like, beating a dead horse and, like, sounding like I'm just whining. But, like, when you have things planned and you have things to do, like, a huge delay like that really puts a huge damper on getting things done. Like, there's no way I can get all the things done now. So I am having trouble today. I took her to school, went back and picked up her skates. That was the end of that. And then we finished up her project primarily finished up her project because, since I ordered 2 packs of skates, what I was going to do is just put the stickers on. But then I didn't have, I had 62 stickers, one of which was roller skates, which didn't help me. And then the rest of them were ice skating related. And I counted it out. I had 98 total ice skates for a 100 ice skate project. I then was going to print out a copy of my daughter in her skates and have her like skating on the rink. And that would be our 100th or 99 and 100th ice skates. But that also meant that I had to cut a lot of these ice skate stickers. Because some of them would be like, I love ice skating. And then it had the ice skate on it. And then the words around it. So I just cut out the ice skates. A lot of that was due to restriction of size. But what my daughter did was she took a big piece of white. My husband has this, I think it's 11 by 17 cardstock that he uses for his boxes. And she took it and she, I helped her with some of it, but she did the majority of it. And she took, I made the straight lines and then I gave her her coloring utensils. So she put on the lines and the dots, the circles that you would find on an ice rink to make this sheet of paper look like an ice skating rink. And then we put all of the stickers on and did all of that. And then we would put her on. So Tuesday, I met Erica. So I mentioned this in my last WIP Chat. We are doing something local to us called the Java Journey. And it is a coffee travel extravaganza through our county. And we live in the same county. We live like opposite ends of the county. And there are some that are near me, some that are near her, and then some that are just like nowhere near either one of us. So this happened to be one of those ones that like her house was not halfway point, but her house was much closer to where we were going. So I met her at her house and then we rolled off to our 2 spots of the day. We did, and each one, you get a passport. You have to pay for the passport coffee mug to be able to participate. You can go to all the coffee shops without the passport, but you can't order the secret drinks unless you have it. And for me, so far, I've ordered the secret drink at every single shop that we're at. And that's probably what I'll do for all of them. And if you finish all of them in the time frame, then you could potentially win a prize. But also, like, this is just a fun experience for us. We both like drinking coffee. We like spending time together. And this was a fun way to do both. So we went to the first place. And the parking lot was so full. We're like, well, do we want to make this our second place? And I was like, okay. So then we go to the other place. And the road that it's on, there's some, like, tractor trailer tangled up in wires and the road is closed. And I was like, why is everything like, why is all the shit hitting the fan? So we were able to figure out how to get in like a back way, which was great because we were able to get in and we had our little coffee and sweet treat. And this one was a French toast cold brew with something cold foam, and it came with a little shortbread cookie that was like supposed to look like a piece of French toast with a smiley face on it. It was super cute. I really enjoyed that. I am finding I like cinnamon, but I feel like a lot of the cinnamon heavy drinks, like it settles at the bottom, and then it makes it really unpleasant to drink it at the bottom. But also you don't want to like chug your coffee because, it's not water. Although I'm pretty sure that I chugged mine compared to Erica consuming it at a normal people rate. But that was super nice. We had a good time. We went over to the next spot, which was, again, the first place we tried to go that also didn't have any parking, and it was worse the second time around. So we ended up parking. There were other people like parked in the grass, so we parked in the grass. Went in, sat down, ordered, did all of that. And then she's like, you know what? A couple people just left. Let me move my car. So she did. Now, the first place that we actually sat down, like, there was a lot of charm on the inside. It was really cute. This place was just like not visually appealing, in my opinion. But I loved the drink. It was like a caramel truffle hot coffee. I don't know if it was coffee or espresso because it was just like the truffle drink. They didn't actually say what it was. But I got that. And then it came with a chocolate caramel truffle on top, which was delicious. And I really, really enjoyed that. And I had a lot of fun doing that. We have another stop this week. Erica has it all laid out. You guys, if you ever want to know like the difference between us as people, she's organized. I'm not. How am I like finding all these drills that don't belong? Am I just not cleaning my trays well enough? But so that was my Tuesday. And then after I did that, I did a quick Target run. There was something I needed specific to Target, and that was like close to where I was. So I did that. I came home, and then I think Brian was home that day, and we also had lunch. It was another one of those, let's find what we have in the freezer. I don't know what color I just pulled. Okay. This is me, like, constantly being like, what's happening? I have no idea what's going on over here. I just lost my train of thought, though. You guys, I'm losing my mind. Like, more so than normal. I'm feeling like I am truly, like, lost. Oh my God, I hope I don't run out of drills. The amount of drills that just keep falling on my desk or getting stuck to something and then spilling. And but anyway, so I did that. And then after school, I picked up Briar and we went to Staples. Now, if you remember a few minutes ago, I mentioned that I was getting a picture of my daughter printed. So what I did was I had it printed on a thicker cardstock, and then I cut her out, and then what I ended up doing, I wanted to put her like on a stick, but I figured if I had her on a stick and they hung the paper on the wall this way, that she'd be sticking out this way and it'd be lost. So what I did was I made like a paper spring, and I just attached it on the ice so that it like bopped around. But Briar had a very hard life lesson that day because she wanted to know why she had to go get this taken care of and why like one of us couldn't go do it for her. And I was like, well, this is your project. This is not my project. And you need to make the decision whether you think that that's a good size, whether you think that's going to work. And somehow in all of this, she was like, I don't want to be a part of this. And I was like, well, this is your project, kid. And I am a firm believer in that. Like, this is your thing. You need to be involved in it, because I'm not going to be one of those parents that does their kid's entire project and then wonder why when their kids get older, they don't know how to do things on their own. Well, also, like, she's capable of doing the project. So once I helped cut all the stickers out of like the shapes that they were in, otherwise I would have just let her use the ones that we had. She put them all over the paper. I said, I don't care where they go, Briar. Just And she's like, some of them hang over. I'm like, then just fold it over the edge of the paper. It'll still be fine. Also, I don't think your teacher's going to count to make sure there are 100 of whatever item. She's like, okay, mommy. But she was like, while it was printing, she's like, can I go look at whatever she wanted to look at? And my husband's like, sure, we'll go look at that. Well, in her mind, somehow that translated to, mommy and daddy are going to buy me a fidget. Despite neither one of us telling her we were going to buy her a fidget. We didn't mention anything about a fidget. She just got it in her mind. And also, I don't know why, because I have bought her like one fidget from there ever. I think. Maybe. And it's not like I'm like, every time we go to Staples, we need to buy a new fidget. Like, I don't know where she got that from. But then she threw this massive temper tantrum because she was mad she wasn't getting the fidget that nobody told her she was getting. And what she was failing to understand is that while this may be Staples, this is where daddy does a ton of his business. And we don't need you behaving like this or acting like this or responding like this. But also, this has a negative reflection on him because he does a ton of business printing there. And they all know him and all these things. So she ended up, when we were trying to leave, climbing behind some desk chairs that were right at the front door. And my husband had to grab her before she got too far behind them because then we wouldn't be able to get her at all. And I don't know what is going on that she is just so completely like unraveled and unhinged right now. But it turned into this like spectacle, and she started screaming, and I was like, girlfriend, like, you cannot behave like this in public. Like, we've had this conversation before. There's certain things you're allowed to be frustrated. Like, I will never tell her she's not allowed to be mad or allowed to be frustrated, but you can be mad without screaming, I need help at the top of your lungs when you don't need help. Especially if somebody sees Brian carrying her out of a building and she's screaming, I need help. And they have no idea that's her dad. Like, we've explained this to her. Somebody's going to think daddy's kidnapping you when you scream like that. And she's like, no. And I'm like, yes, Briar, you don't understand the world we live in. Take some water. And like, we were being calm and cool through the whole thing, but it's still incredibly frustrating because like people on the outside don't know what's going on, and nor do they care. They're going to just react when they want to react, how they want to react, and that be it. So it turned into this huge issue, and then she wanted us to go do something else afterwards, and we're like, you're joking, right? Like, you don't think we're really going to go reward that behavior. We're going to go home, eat the food that we have at home, and we're going to put the rest of your project together at home. So needless to say, that was an incredibly, like, infuriating trip, and, like, I still have no idea why she thought she was getting a fidget toy. Yeah, but, that was very frustrating. And for people who have, like, who don't ever deal with situations like that, they probably just, like, scoff, but, like, this is our norm, unfortunately. And, I just, you know, like, I have to keep her safe in those moments and prevent her from, like, trying to run and escape because we've dealt with that as well. But she just does not understand that, like, her actions in general have consequences. Somehow that, like, no matter what the consequences are, she still isn't comprehending that. But it was just one of those things. The next day was school, so we had to pack up her project. But since we used a larger piece of paper, it didn't fit into her backpack. So I had to wrap it in a trash bag that she could carry, which then she got mad about because she didn't want to carry a trash bag. And I'm like, I don't know what you want, Briar. Like, I can't, it has a 3D element on it. I can't just like throw it in your backpack and let it wiggle around, or that's going to fall off. And you're going to get to school and be like, why isn't the ice skater on there? And your teacher's going to have no idea what you're talking about, nor are they going to be able to fix it for you. Like, also, it's not your teacher's job. So we walked to school, she carried it, and sometimes she goes to get breakfast before school, which is always funny to me because she eats breakfast at home. The rule is mommy does not mind if you go get breakfast ever. Like, I don't mind, but it's not going to replace the breakfast that you have at home. It can be in addition to it. But, like, I love when she's, like, too full to eat anymore at home, and then she goes to school, and literally, like, 10 minutes later, she eats another meal, and I'm like, okay. Sometimes kids are bottomless pits, and sometimes they survive on air, and I just, like, they're interesting creatures. But she took a project and she was very excited. And when I picked her up that day, she let me know her one friend did like something with like the Up House, and they, instead of doing 100 balloons, they made the balloons out of 100 pom poms. Somebody else did like 100 flowers in a flower pot, and just some of these kids like were super creative ideas. And then she's like, they're not being hung up in the hallway, and I'm like, okay. Thought your teacher said that they were being hung up. So, like, sorry, I'm always wrong. That's one thing, excuse me, that's one thing I've learned as a parent. No matter what, I'm always wrong. Like, I could be 100% right, but I'm still wrong. And it's like, okay. And I just can't wait for that to get worse as she gets older, because teenagers think they know everything. But that was it. And then Thursday, they had a snow day. So I got a text message from the school telling us that there was no school. It was slightly earlier than it was last time, but not like, they didn't make the decision that soon. I don't know. I feel like this decision making needs to be done more efficiently, in my opinion. But this was one of those like snow, ice, sleet kind of storms, and not like a, oh, go play in the snow, have fun kind of storms. So when I knew she was staying home, I was like, all right, I have all the ingredients to make, what I'd like to do is make pink Rice Krispie treats in the air fryer. I don't know if I'll be able to do what I want to do, but I have the ingredients to make Rice Krispie treats. And then I got freeze-dried raspberries, which she loves. And I was going to crush them up and use the pink powder to somehow make the Rice Krispie treats pink, or to make like a topping that is pink or something like that. Because we had also just bought some Valentine's Day sprinkles from Trader Joe's. And I thought this would be a nice fun treat that she can have, that I know this is a safe version, because a lot of marshmallows have dye in them. So you would think a snow day, that would be the perfect day. Well, she was just... When I tell you these last couple days have been like pure chaos in my household, like I said to Brian, I was like, I have to tap out. Like I'm at that point now where like I can't, like my brain mentally, I need a break. I cannot. Okay, if anybody in here has children or ever had children, there's this weird like, and it'll be like double standard, but like when my husband goes to the bathroom, my daughter will leave him alone. I could literally have the door close and my husband say, Briar, your mom's on the toilet. Leave her alone. She'll come talk to you when she's done. And Briar would be like, okay. And then literally open the door and walk into the bathroom. She is like that with me. She is not like that with him. She will, if I am in the kitchen, she has to be in the kitchen. If I'm over here, she has to be over here. I'm just like, girlfriend, we have a whole house. Like, go play in the living room while mommy is making something for lunch. Like, whatever I can have her help with, I always do, because it makes her feel part of the team, which great. Like, you want to help me? Help me. But it's like the other day when the water wasn't boiling, she was hovering over me in the kitchen, and I was like, there is nothing that you can do, and you are driving me nuts. Like, please go play with your toys and leave me alone. But she was just, you guys, I don't know. Is there a full mood happening? Like, I don't know what is going on. But my child, she is like a wind-up toy that you just keep winding up until it starts making that cranky noise, and then you let it go, and it's like all the way until it just stops for days on end. And I'm like, girl, I'm going to lose my mind. And this is the kind of stuff that like people don't talk about when it comes to parenting, or like if you talk about it, you get met with the, well, you decided to have children. You knew what you were in for. Did I? Did I, Karen? Did I, Susan? Did I, whoever? Did I know that this was the kind of thing that I was going to have to deal with a 7-year-old following me around and not letting me poop in private? Did I know that? Did I know that I was going to have a situation in which my kitchen was basically rendered useless and I had a child breathing down my neck and not leaving me alone? Did I know that? No, I did not know that. I was just, but then they send us this email about, we've expended all of our snow days now. It's like, cool. So now they no longer even have days built into the calendar to make them up on. Which, I mean, I guess I should be thankful that the next step isn't to take away part of their spring break, like what happened last year. And I think that only happened last year because the snow days were later in the year than they are now, but it is only the beginning of February. And I say that Pennsylvania is a place that gets all 4 seasons, sometimes in one day, but there could very well be snow into March. Like, that is not unheard of here. So what we have to do is they have some instructional packet that you're not allowed to do unless it's on a snow day. And I'm like, okay. But also, how do they know? If anybody has a kid who does these FID instruction days, let me know, because it's my understanding they get like one packet that they kind of hang on to, and when they have the snow day, they fill out that packet. But how are you supposed to know what the kids are going to be working on? Like, is it just, I don't know. And honestly, like, even though they said not to do it, I honestly want to be like, Briar, we're going to do this packet right away. So that next time you have a snow day, we don't even have to worry about it. We just do it. But, I like to follow the rules, so it's probably not going to happen. But anyway, so if they don't do this FID packet on a snow day, then it still is marked as a regular absence. And I'm like, okay. So the older kids had like virtual days and things like that. But our kids, like, you can't make somebody do a virtual day when they have a school issued computer or tablet that stays at the school. Like, I do not have a computer at my house. Like, if my daughter needed to use a computer or a tablet, I wouldn't have one. I don't have a need for one, because I have a cell phone that does everything. And, yeah. So, I mean, I'm thankful that it's not virtual learning days for first grade, because, like, your girl's not going to learn anything virtually. We've done this before. My kid was in county therapies during the height of the pandemic, where we had to do virtual occupational therapy and things like that, and it was horrific. And I understand she's older now, but she's still not that kid to like sit in front of the tablet and do all the things that she needs to do. Like, she's just going to keep banging on the screen and wanting to play and, do things that normal 7-year-olds would want to do. Like, not do schoolwork and not pay attention and just be like, ooh, can I play with this app? Which is funny, I will say. Like, she talks about apps as if we know what they are. So the other night, she was sitting there with Brian, and she's talking about on Go Noodle, she likes this meditation. And Brian's like, what the hell is Go Noodle? And I know what it is because she's talked about it so many times. And I'm always like, can you tell mommy a little bit more about it? Like, I've never heard of this. And it's one of their educational apps. Which I'm like, that's great that they have access to being able to do like meditation platforms at school if they need it. But anyway, so she's going to have these virtual learning days coming up. And I'm like, okay, okay. And unfortunately this wasn't like a good snow day to be like, let's go play out in the snow. Like, it was like snow covered by a sheet of ice. But, yeah. Friday, she ended up missing school because it was a sick day. And I understand, like, when people don't feel well, they don't usually lead with their best foot forward. But dealing with a kid who's already been, like, at a level of 1,000 instead of, like, out of 10 kind of situation, and then you add that on top of it, it's like, I'm gonna lose my marbles. And we had a nice little conversation because she had to spend some time by herself in her room, to which she let me know that's boring. And I'm like, that's correct, my friend. This is a consequence for your actions. And when you get punished, you don't get treated to fun times. You get punishments, my friend. And she's like, well, I don't agree with that. Okay, well, then stop doing the behavior and you won't get in trouble for it. And I've explained to her, like, most normal people, when they lose all of their toys or they get sent to their room and they have to, have boring times, they go, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be punished like that again. And then they change their behavior. And she's like, She literally looked me in the eye after doing something that I caught her. She did it right in front of me, lied about it. And then I was like, Briar, I watched you do it. And she just looks at me and goes, you know what kind of person I am. Girl, that is not an excuse. That is not a reasoning for it. Like, no, ma'am. But because we missed out on Friday for being from school, we didn't get the snow day packet. So I was like, hopefully they don't have a snow day on Monday. They didn't. And she didn't get to wear her Eagle shirt to school on Monday, which on Friday. She's wearing it today. Go Birds. But she also missed morning ice, her evening group lesson, and a Wicked skate that she was looking so forward to. And I know her coach is probably super pissed that Briar's missing all this ice time with her next competition, like around the corner. It's later this month. And I texted her to let her know that Briar wouldn't be making it to the Friday morning ice. And, in my opinion, a normal person would say, I hope she's okay or whatever. And she goes, well, I really hope she's not sick. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because you know what I hope? I hope she is sick. Like, what a stupid... It was cold and I was like, okay. But now she has missed all of this additional ice time because between the snow and then her getting sick. And I know that her coach is mad, but she also is the one who took us off of afternoons. And I was thinking about maybe taking her to the rink this afternoon just to get some like practice ice time. I don't know if she wants to or not. I'll talk to her because she does have ice time in the morning. But we will see. We will see. But I was just like, I am at that point where I am just so overwhelmed. I got almost no diamond painting done. I got no recording done. I have a child who is just like, somebody ramped her up and charged her up. And the thing that sucks is when she's like that, getting her out of the house is usually one of the best things to do, because letting her like move her body and run around and all of that is really good for her. But I am also not somebody that is willing to give her a prize basically for his poor behavior. So that's, super fun. But it was just like Brian was at work and I was like counting down the minutes till he was done. I was just like, I need you to get out of my butthole and leave me alone for a couple minutes. And I love her more than anything, which she is just driving me crazy this week. And I'm hoping this week will be a better note. This morning when she got up for school, she moved super efficiently, which like never happens. She was in really good spirits. Like I said to you guys earlier, I figured out that I could use my air fryer to make an egg. So I was like, do you want mommy to make you an egg this morning? And she's like, oh my God, yeah. So I did, and she ate a whole egg and a bowl of cereal. So that was cool. But I'm very curious if she went and got breakfast this morning or not. She's like, I don't know if I want to have breakfast or if I want to go to recess. And I'm like, girl, do whatever you want to do. The only thing that sucks is when there's snow out on the playground, they are only allowed to stand on the blacktop. Also, we had a bit of a frustrating conversation, her and I, and like, I'm not trying to break her spirits because like, I love her and she's a little kid, but she has a friend at school that she I believe considers to be her best friend. And I don't have a problem with the child per se. But I do think that my daughter is a little bit mistaken as to what like a true friendship really looks like. And I'm not saying that this girl isn't a true friend to my daughter. And again, they're only 7, so like I have to understand this kid also has younger siblings. But every time, if the friend wants to go get breakfast, they go get breakfast. If the kid wants to go outside and play, they go outside and play. And I've said to her, like, Briar, if you want to go get breakfast and she doesn't, go get breakfast. Like, you don't need her permission to go get breakfast. And she's like, I know, Mommy, I know. But then I come to find out that, like, every time they play on the playground, they play whatever this little girl wants to play. And not in a way of, like, my daughter's like, oh my God, I wanted to play this game and she was so excited to play it with me. It was like, oh, she wanted to play this today, so that's what we played. And so I asked her casually, not that long ago, I said, well, what if you want to play a different game? And she's like, then she doesn't want to play with me. And I'm like, that's not okay. She is more than allowed to say, you know, like, I don't really want to play that game today, and then go on and play her own thing. Like, that's totally fine. But there's a difference between that and being like, oh, I don't want to do what you want to do because you're the one who said it. That's what I have, like, a problem with. And I don't know if that's how it is or if that's kind of how my daughter's translating it to me. But we had to have a little bit of a talk because I was like, listen, you know, if you don't want to play that game, if you want to play a different game, just tell her, you know, like, hey, we always play this. Can we try this? I really want to play this today. And see how she reacts to you. You know, my daughter called this girl out once because she was saying things that were upsetting another little kid. And Briar stood up for that kid and was like, he said, don't call him that. He doesn't like that and you're hurting his feelings. And then the little girl didn't talk to Briar for a day. And I told her that was fine. Because if she is going to not talk to you because you're standing up for someone she was like picking on, that you did the right thing. It might make you sad because you want to play with her, and I get that. But, like, I just want her to understand that, like, not everybody that you play with is truly, like, your good friend. But, and, like, we were talking, and I had to make it a point to explain to her, like, Mommy doesn't feel this way about all of your friends. You know, like, there's these 2 girls that are friends. They're actually neighbors. And Briar plays with them regularly as well. And has never had anything like mean or hurtful to say about them. They've never said anything to be mean or hurtful towards Briar. They've never been mean or hurtful towards any other kids. Like, they just seem to be really good eggs. And I've spoken to both of their parents before. And these girls, like, they came and watched Briar ice skate and her show. And, like, they just seem like good kids that have good heads on their shoulders, and they seem really sweet. So I had to, like, reiterate to her, like, listen, it's not like, Mommy's not one of those people that won't let you have friends. I just want to make sure that the friends you have are worth having and not gonna hurt your feelings and make you feel sad. And she's like, okay, Mommy. And it's interesting, the little girl that my daughter was playing with, the other day she came out of school, she had something in her hand and it blew away. And the mom was just standing there, didn't do anything. And so I helped her try to stop the paper from flying away. And it landed on a pile of snow, and I put my foot on the edge to hold it in place. And she was like, thank you. And she came running over and she grabbed the paper, the little girl. I don't know if she said thank you, honestly. But she was very excited that I was able to help her. And then she picked it up, and the mother walked right past me and didn't say, like, thank you, which I found very, very rude. This mother stands near me most days at pickup. Our kids hug every single day when they leave. She has never once acknowledged and said hello or anything like that. And, like, you know, I'm like, I really hope that this kid's not like, hey, Briar, let's have a play date. Because, like, listen, if your parents can't even say a simple thank you when I'm the one who helped you grab your project while they just stood around, like, I'm not sure that I want you over their house. And maybe that's just me, and maybe that's, you know, but I don't know. It might be a lot, it might not be, but I'm ready for this week to be better. I'm hoping that we can get a good amount of ice time. There was a death in my family. So I have to take care of that. Before anybody jumps, it's not anybody that I'm related to, but it's somebody related to somebody I'm related to. Okay, let me just say that. I'm not going to get into details of it. But because of that, I will be going to the funeral. I will be seeing a family member who's in from out of town. And I am strictly going to support this family member. And it's just like, a lot of decisions have to be made. Are we pulling Briar out of school? She's not going to go to the funeral, but is she going to come down and see the family member or what? I don't know. We'll have to make decisions. But if you are anywhere in the like Pennsylvania, New Jersey area, like today is Monday, you guys will see this on Tuesday, but like literally like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is all supposed to be like crap weather. And it's like an hour and a half drive from me to there. So I'm not super excited about like potentially driving in this, but I'm not going to not go. So a lot of decisions have to be made, but I think I've already gone past the hour mark here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you made it all the way to the end, leave me some sort of like coffee emoji since we were talking about coffee. And please let me know, do you like the idea of doing the weekly slideshows and the I Spy in one video? Please let me know if you like that idea, you don't like that idea, it doesn't affect you in any way, because it would make things easier for me to be able to do 2 videos at once instead of do 2 separate videos and then have to upload them on separate days. And also a friendly reminder, if you participate in the I Spy, you don't have to be an event participant to do that. You can just do it to just engage and participate. So I'm going to get out of here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. 1 real life, 1 virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record when my tiny human is sleeping, or like today at school. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!